Alright guys, we're back in the garage and we are almost completely done with fixing the 4runner. Pretty much it is already up and running, but I did run into an issue while I was driving it around the block to test it out. And what ended up happening is my speedometer is not working. And there's a good reason for that, because the 3rd gen 4runners run their speedometer through the ABS on their complete rear axle. Well, since now I have a 3rd gen Tacoma 8.75 complete rear end there, it does have ABS in there, but that ABS will not work. It will not work. Trust me guys, it will not work for the 3rd gen 4runner. Fortunately, there's stuff online that I found on a Toyota 4runner forum on how to fix the speedometer, and the trick to that is to go through the transfer case using a vehicle speed sensor for a Tacoma. And I'll show you the process. It goes in the rear of the transfer case on the passenger side. It's simple. You can buy this vehicle speed sensor. It is pricey if you get an OEM one. It's like around $300, or you can just buy one through Amazon. I got one for like 11 bucks. And then you're gonna need a connector, 3-wire pigtail connector that goes into that vehicle speed sensor. And then you're gonna have to wire it up and then run it through the cluster gauge. You're gonna have to just feed it in there, and then you're gonna have to connect those wires to the speedometer. So I'll show you what you actually will need to make this process work. So some of this is just extra stuff depending on what you want to really do, but for me, I just went this way because I felt like it's, you know, gonna really make sure that this is protected, and you know, water, rust, heat, any moisture will not get in the way. So what I have here is, first of all, I have 3 different colors of wires, 18 gauge. I have some heat shrink butt connectors. You know, you probably will need only about like six of them total, but they're so cheap. $2, $3 doesn't hurt. You'll need a wire stripper. This stuff is so cheap, so I just went and bought like 2 of them. This is like $5.99. This is also $5.99, which is the crimper. And then I'm not sure exactly what's gonna fit, so I did get a 1/4-inch thick protective wire wrap tubing. I also got a 1/2-inch one just in case these 3 wires are too thick. So the way it's gonna work is, I'll show you right now. See? So I've already taken out the dash, the cluster gauge. So I'm not going to show the video how to do that because you can find that online, but basically it's very simple. You just have to take out some bolts here and then some screws, and then you have to unplug these things. So the main ones that you're going to have to work on are these brown connectors and this blue connector. Those are the only 2 ones you're going to need to cut and basically connect the wires to. So with that, I'll show you the process on how to get this done. Again, I'm not like a master when it comes to like electrical stuff, but I feel like I can get this done. So let's go. Alright guys, so I'm under the 4runner right now. So this is the rear axle. As you can see, this is the drive shaft, and all you have to do is follow this drive shaft, and right over here where I have my index finger on is the 12 millimeter bolt you'll need to remove. Okay, so this one is blank. This whole thing that I'm touching here, this is blank. This is what you need to replace. The vehicle speed sensor basically just goes in there, and then you bolt this back on. Now when you remove this, just be aware that you're gonna lose some oil. So I do have some towels with me here. It's gonna spill some oil, and then I'm just gonna try to put it as quick as I can so I don't lose much oil, and then put this bolt back on. Okay, so it's pretty simple. I won't show a video how to do that. It's pretty simple, just you know, pretty straightforward. So here you go. So before I get started, I just wanted to show you how it looks like. You can pick one of these up on Amazon. I counted how many teeth this has. It has 34 teeth, and I think the standard one that comes for a Tacoma is about 30 teeth. So you want to go a little bit higher than 30, like probably 33 or 34, because you probably have yours re-geared, unless you don't have yours re-geared. If you have yours re-geared, it's going to read differently, so you probably want to go up to more teeth than 30. All right, so that's how it looks like. And then also, this is the pigtail that connects to this, so it goes like that. All right, guys, so somehow I managed to break the original bolt that was here. And so I went to the hardware store and picked up a new one. So now, instead of it being a 12 millimeter, it's now a 13 millimeter. Still works, doesn't matter, same thread pitch. So in order to get this installed, you do need to kind of tap it a little bit. Don't go too hard, just tap it a little bit. You know, you can use I use a brass punch, just slowly like tapped it until it went in there and slid in. Didn't take too much, really, just a couple of taps, and then put this bolt on. But yeah, this is it. This is the VSS attached to it. Just a direct replacement of the one that came with the transfer case, which I showed earlier. So yeah, pretty much just goes in there. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get started with putting together the pigtail. All right, guys, day 2. Got way too hot yesterday, so I stepped back in, and went back at this last night and just kind of put the pigtail together. So as you can see here, I've already done the heat shrink butt connectors in there, and then I put this heat shrink just to, you know, double proof it, make sure that it's covered all the way. It's good to go. And so now I'm gonna get going, and I'm gonna go under the firewall and fish this through, these wires through, and then up into the dash. And then that's when I'm gonna go ahead and cut those wires to the brown connector, which I'll show you. The brown connector will have a black and yellow wire, and that's going to be for the power source. And then on the blue connector, there's a gray and blue wire that I need to cut and then splice one of the wires to, and that is going to be the one for the ABS speed sensor thing, and that's really what's going to be, you know, what's reading the sensor. And then finally, the last wire is going to be just a ground It's going to be also in the blue connector right next to a green wire that I'm going to fish through, and I'll show that as well. But basically, this is the first one is going to be number 1. It's going to be the red one. Middle one is the blue. All right. So that's the middle, and it's hard to see it, but so the middle one is blue. Okay, and then this one right here is going to be the green, and that's going to be the one that's going to go to the power. Okay, so let's get going. Wanted to show you this little trick. It may seem like nothing, but what I did is use the antenna on the other side that's over there, and I taped these wires to the tip of it, and then I just fished it through. So we just fished it through, and then it comes out through there. I need to fish it through some more, but I can already see it. I don't really need to, so you can see it right now, but it's pretty much there already. I actually fished it way too much. So as you can see, there it is. Those are the wires. So I just need to remove it from the antenna and then pull the antenna back and just pull the rest of the wires. So yeah, that is the firewall, in case you were wondering. So essentially it's right here. Just remember, it's right here on the driver's side, behind the master cylinder, and yeah, you have to fish it through there. There's like a little, it's kind of hard to see it there, but there's like a pretty big hole that's there in the firewall. That's where you want to fish it through, make things easier. And then I'm just gonna route it down here later and go around that way, make sure it's out of the way. Alright guys, so like I mentioned earlier, the only two connectors you'll be messing with is the brown connector and the blue connector. So for the blue connector, the ABS wire from the pigtail that I showed earlier is the green one, which I spliced into the gray and blue one. It's kind of hard to see, but that's gray and blue. Okay, and then the blue wire is just the ground wire, and I ran it up to the second, I mean not the second, but the fourth hole from the very left side. So you see 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth one. So I just ran it all the way through. That's going to be the ground wire, and then finally the power source is going to be the black and yellow. So I spliced the red wire here along with the black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Yep, not hard to remember. So that's it. Now I got to just connect all of it. So hopefully that is helpful for somebody who's doing this mod. But again, the blue and gray wire, that's the ABS one. That's going to be the one for the speedometer. The one in the middle, the blue, is going to be just a ground wire. And then finally the red wire that I have is hooked up, which is the power source, to the black and yellow. All right, let's see how it all turns out. All right, moment of truth. Everything worked out. One thing to note, which really fixed this, I had Aeon here to help me, since he gave me the idea that we need a second person to spin the gears to make sure it's working. So everything was wired correctly. It was wired correctly. I did it properly. So yeah, I'm patting myself in the back on that one. But you needed a second person to spin the gear, because unless you made the wires long enough, which I didn't, to double check to make sure that the actual speedometer was working, and it was. The real key to why this whole thing worked is because the signal wire had to be snipped, because the ABS ECU is still providing some kind of signal there, which you don't want. So what I did is I just wired that signal all the way straight to the actual cluster gauge where the ABS goes to. And what do you know, it all worked out. We tried 2 different BSS's, but fortunately everything worked out. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's all it took. So next piece will be to show you guys. Alright guys, so as I mentioned, I wanted to show you how the speedometer is now working. So pay attention there. See, yep, moving. Alright, there we go. And as you see, the speedometer is moving, going up, going down, as I slow down, come to a stop sign. Okay. Just gonna bust a U-turn here. Make sure everything is clear. Yeah, we're clear. Alright. Over we go. There we go. As you see again. First gear, second gear. As you see, it's going. So yep. As you see there, guys, it is fixed. It is good to go. Alright guys, just to add on to what I said earlier, which is about the ABS, just so you guys are not confused, what I did is I cut the blue and gray wire, or the gray wire with the blue stripe on it. I cut that and basically stopped the ABS ECU from sending any signal up to the cluster gauge. So what I did is, whatever was remaining on that blue connector, I just directly put that green wire, which was the signal wire, I just connected it directly to it. So just so there's no confusion, that's what I did. I cut the gray and blue wire and made sure there's no signal coming from the ABS ECU. So that's what fixed it, because after I did the initial connection of everything, which I originally had the cut portion of the gray and blue wire, I had it spliced together with the signal wire, the green wire, and then used a butt connector to put it together. And obviously that went all the way to the blue connector, which then attached to the cluster gauge. That didn't work. So what I had to do is get rid of the connection from the ABS ECU. That's very important. That's what worked for me. You may not need to do that, but that's what worked for me. So yeah, if you have any questions about that, let me know in the comments. But hopefully that really helped you guys out, as I have not seen any video about how to do a speedometer fix for a Toyota once you switch out to a rear axle or a solid axle in the front. So peace, guys.